This is your sports update on Emory and Henry Reports. I'm Olivia Bailey, and I have Myra Sims, our athletic director at Emory and Henry College here. Thank you for being on the site, Myra.
Thank you for having me.
And we're just going to talk about some positive changes that the athletic department's making. We have some winning records right now, some undefeated teams. So express a little bit about what the changes that the athletic department's making this year.
Well, we've had some good success early on this year, and I'm really proud and excited to see our teams doing well here to start the year. I certainly give all the credit to our coaches and folks who have worked to recruit and coach our players, and then to our student athletes who are the ones that put in the time and effort. We do have quite a few new staff members, and a couple of those that are coaching our fall teams are Dan Klopfelter, our volleyball coach, who's doing very well. Nathan Kish is our new men's soccer coach, and he's doing very well as well. And then, of course, Don Montgomery in football team's 2-0 and has rolled in their first 2 games, so they've gotten off to a great start. And then Anna Baker, our women's soccer coach, I mean, they're 4-0 and off to just a tremendous start, tremendously proud and excited for them. So, you know, lots of new faces and new excitement in the program, I'd say.
Yeah, so far we've had a couple of records broken, tied. Kyle Bowden, the starting quarterback, he tied that record for passing yards in this past game. How would you attribute those athletes coming in, the coaches' experiences with them?
Well, as I said, I think you have to give all the credit to the coaches for recruiting players like Kyle Bowden, and who's just a tremendously impressive athlete and a tremendously impressive young man from everything I know about him. But you have to give a lot of credit to our coaches for going out and recruiting these student athletes and then mentoring them and as I said, coaching them on the field. So, you know, it's just an exciting time. We've got some tough tests coming up with the big UVA Wise game this week over there in Wise, and of course that's going to be a real test for our football team. So it's an exciting time, but there's a lot of season left for all of these fall sports. So the true measure of our teams will come out by the end of the season. But I'm very, very excited and proud with what we've done so far.
Definitely. And there's a lot of plans going on with construction and things like that. Can you elaborate on some of the field houses and the press boxes that are being put up at the moment?
Well, the Brooks Field House, which is will go into the east end zone of the football stadium. We expect to begin construction on that sometime around the early part of October. It's out to bid right now, and we expect to have the bids in the next couple weeks. So that construction should start in early October. It's projected to be a 12-month project. We will have some incentives built into the contract to try to hurry that up if at all possible. But we expect to be into that facility sometime in fall of 2012, hopefully early fall 2012 rather than later 2012. The other project that we've had going recently is at our baseball facility, and that was made possible by the gift of an anonymous donor who gave us $150,000 last spring. And we have used that to build a new press box, a new backstop, do some dugout extensions and safety rails, and then the new scoreboard that went up last summer was part of that gift as well. So that's really exciting for our baseball program. It's really going to enhance what we do there, will enable us to do some things with radio coverage of our baseball games and web streaming that we haven't been able to do before without the data capabilities there at the field that we now have. So the other big thing that the Brooks Field House allows us to do is to start to think about how we might renovate the King Center as well. And that's my next priority in terms of facility projects, is to figure out how we can plan effective use of the King Center space so that the rest of our teams also have great facilities. It's an old building and it really needs some updates. And so that's something that I'm already doing a little bit of work on in the preliminary stages and trying to figure out what we would want to do and how we would accomplish that from a resource standpoint. How would we get the money to do that? So that's the other big one that's on my horizon right now.
Yes. And we've also seen some updates with the website with live stats and things like that people can access from their own homes. They can not watch the games, but they can keep up with the games on a live basis. Can you explain some about that and what changes are being made and what sports you can follow through that?
Sure. I'm really excited about the new website. That's been a long time coming, and our new sports information director, Joe Matthews, came in May, and that was his very first project. He came on May 16th. On May 17th, we signed the contract with Presto Sports, and he had to start right away on the new website. So I'm really excited about it. It gives us a lot of capability and functionality that we did not have with our old website, to do video and audio streaming and some different things that we could not do. He is trying to have live stats at basically every home event, where you actually keep stats, which would basically be all the team sports, where you actually have a sports information director, keying in statistics. Anytime he's doing it on the computer, we have the capability of running that as live stats on the website. So we've been doing soccer, volleyball, and football so far with live stats, and hope to be able to do that, as I said, with all the team sports. So yeah, it's exciting.
And as we were talking a little bit earlier, this is your second year here. Emory and Henry is a school with a lot of tradition. What have your experiences been here? What have been your favorite traditions that you've seen and things that you have enjoyed since you've been here?
Well, you have to say the football tailgating is something that's pretty remarkable for a small school like this. It's amazing. I remember last year the first home game was against UVA and I got here that morning at about 8 o'clock, 8:30, expecting to be one of the first folks on campus. And when I got here, the tailgate field was completely full of tents and people already grilling, and there were just cars and people and tents all over campus. So, that tradition of the tailgating is really cool. It's really neat to see the support that we have around our football Saturdays. And just the other thing, I guess, that's been remarkable to me is just the general alumni support and interest for all of our teams, really. Sometimes it can be a little too much, but I get a lot of phone calls from alumni and fans from around the community who are just so interested and really, really deeply care about this place and care deeply about athletics. So, it's great to have that support, and it is pretty remarkable because the school I came from, Emory University in Atlanta, it's a very successful athletic program, but it's not the same kind of alumni interest and involvement that we have here at Emory and Henry. So it's a really neat thing, and I think we're all really fortunate to have the alumni support that we do.
Well, thank you for being on the set, Myra, and thank you for all that you do with Emory Athletics. We all appreciate it, and athletes here really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thank you. This has been your sports interview on EHC-TV.